Hello. In this video, we're going to work with Lesson 1 of Illustrator. Lesson 1 in Illustrator refers to the use of shapes. Okay, there is a video specializing on shapes, explaining everything about shapes. I'm gonna review as much as I can on this lesson 2. All right, so first thing, I'm gonna go to the icon here at the bottom, or you can open the program from wherever you want. Okay, I'm gonna click it here and the program opens up. I press Control N to start a new document. Right here I have my new document window, like you see up here. In this window, I'm going to configure the size of my document or my project, whichever way you want to call it. Okay. Well, first, here on the right here, I can choose inches or whatever other measurement units you're familiar with. This video or everything that I instruct in Illustrator and Photoshop is in inches. So click on inches. You'll do the same. And then here, I'm gonna highlight whatever value it's in there. And then I'm gonna enter 10, number 10, meaning 10 inches wide. Okay, 10 inches wide. So I'm gonna press the Tab key now until the height window highlights, and I'm gonna enter 10 too, like that. So in other words, I'm gonna have a sheet which we call here in Illustrator artboard of the dimensions 10 inches wide by 10 inches height or tall. Okay, now I can press the Enter key on my keyboard or click right here. Okay, so click on Create, and right here I have a blank new artboard. All right, so now I'm going to select my rectangle tool right here. Okay, I'm gonna create a rectangle that goes from the far left of my artboard, right there on the very corner. Click, hold it, and drag it all the way to the right to cover the whole width of the artboard. Right there. Okay, and then you select, or rather, while doing this, you could have dragged all the way to the right and drag down like halfway down. Okay, let me do it again. I think I made a mistake there. Should have done it. Look, when I click again, right there, bring it maybe halfway down and then all the way to the right. Right there. If you didn't drag down enough to consider it to be maybe halfway, it's okay. You can refine it afterwards by selecting the selection tool. Okay, all right, so you click on the object and whatever you need to do. If you didn't drag enough, you can drag it more. When you bring your pointer and just float it on this little square, when you see a two-headed arrow vertically, you click, you hold, and you drag down if you needed to drag more, or retract if you made it too long. All right, well, we have our first shape for this exercise. Okay, so now the fill of the rectangle or shape, I'm gonna choose in this button. This button controls the colors inside of the shape, in this case a rectangle. The color inside, it's called fill, F-I-L-L. Okay, I'm gonna choose one blue color randomly. Okay, blue, fine. Now I want to refine this blue to a color like sky blue around noon. All right, so that's too dark for noon time. So I'm going to double click on this point right here. It's called the color picker. Double click it. This is the color picker window. This rectangle here represents the color of your current selected object. See, the same blue. Same blue. Right, so remember, I need to refine this color to represent sky blue around noon. So in this big square, I can choose or click rather on the color or the shade of the blue that I think it's sky blue. So if I click it right there, you know, whatever your idea of sky blue around noon is to you, you're gonna click it right there. So right here, the upper section of this area is the color that I selected. The bottom is the color that's still in my selected shape. I'm gonna make it just slightly lighter by going a little more to my left. Right there, that's a little lighter. So now I wanna click OK. Beautiful. All right, so now I like to get rid of the stroke. The stroke is this line around the shape, in this case the rectangle. I want to get rid of it, okay? So for that I come to this button here, click on the arrow, and then go down and click on this far left icon here with the red slash. Click it, and then we won't have any more stroke. Remember, the line around the shape is called a stroke. Okay, so now we need to have another rectangle below this one. Right, so I'm going to show you how we duplicate this. Instead of recreating, or rather create another rectangle and go through the same motions to color it, refine the color, etc., etc. But since this rectangle is more or less what we want, see, we want to replicate this at the bottom. I'm going to show you a couple of ways that you can do this. And remember, whatever I'm showing you here, it can be applied to anything that you do in Illustrator. Okay, so one way would be to select your shape. Remember, to select shapes, you select, or you click on this tool. It's called the selection tool. You can also select the tool by pressing the V key on your keyboard. Okay, then you click. Then I'm gonna copy with a keyboard command or shortcut if you prefer. I'm gonna press the Control key and hold it down and tap the C key. C as in Charlie. That object has been copied. Now I'm gonna paste it. Control V. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to click on it, on the duplicate, like that, and I'm gonna drag it down and place it right here at the bottom. All right. This is the very common copy and paste action. Right there. That's what we wanted. Okay, I'm gonna delete it and I'm gonna show you another method. You can click on the object, press the Alt key and the Shift key. You click, hold it, and drag it down about right there. Okay, I have one rectangle here at the top, one rectangle here at the bottom. I'm gonna show you even another way. Click on the object, press Control C, and then you press Control F. Control F gives us a duplicate of the original rectangle. Okay, it's right here on top of the original. Now I want to displace it down. I could do maybe the Shift key only. Hold it, click, hold it, and drag it down. Remember, I'm displacing the duplicate. right about there. Beautiful. Now I'm gonna displace it down differently, the duplicate, right? I'm gonna press the down arrow key. I'm gonna tap it several times. If it doesn't move, you can press the shift key, okay? Shift key, and you can tap the down arrow key until you have the object down all the way to the bottom. It looks like it's displacing in a very slow motion. Let's speed that up. The speed that the objects are displaced with the arrow keys are called keyboard command. Keyboard increments. Right? Let me increase that distance. I'm gonna press Control K, and right here I wanted to move. Every time I press any of the arrow keys, this should be moving, let's say, every 1/16 of an inch. 1/16 of an inch is represented by a period, and then 0.32. 0.32. Somewhere around there. Okay. Remember, the smaller the number, the slower the objects are going to be displacing with the keyboard, okay, with the arrow keys on the keyboard. The mouse doesn't affect this setting, because the mouse, you can drag it as fast or as slow as you want. All right, so my objects are going to be moving or displacing every 1/16 of an inch. Right, so I'm going to click OK or press the Enter key, and I'm ready. So I'm going to see how the object is moving. Now, if I wanted to move or jump or displace even a little faster, I can press the Shift key and tap the same arrow key. Pressing and holding the Shift key moves the object 10 times faster than without it. In other words, if it's moving 1/16 at a time without the Shift key, with the Shift key is going to be moving, whatever the addition of 1/16 of an inch, 10 times. You figure it out, right? So all I know is it moves a little faster. I want to hold down the Shift key and pressing the down arrow key. Look, okay. Of course, I press it down. I tap it until I come close to the destination here at the bottom. See, I push it a little. I release the Shift key now, and I'm only tapping the down arrow key. There we go. All right, so that's pretty good. This rectangle at the bottom, I want to fill it with some grass color right here. Okay, so I'm going to click right here, and I want to select the blue. I'm sorry, a green. That's my idea of grass. If you have a different idea than mine, you go ahead and do your own. Okay. So, like I said here, these two rectangles should be about halfway down or halfway up if it's the green one. In other words, remember that the width of our artboard is 10 inches, and also the height 10 inches. If we drag down the length or the height of this, it should be around 5 inches. 5 inches tall by 10 inches wide. Same thing with this. Although right now, really a more precise height, it doesn't matter, because it's a more or less thing. You can make it exactly 5 inches if you want. Okay, let me show you. See right here where it says transform. I have the green one selected. I'm gonna click on transform. You can see that the width is 10 inches, correct? I'm gonna click on the H right there. See how the value is highlighted? I'm gonna simply type the number 5. Okay. Now I'm gonna press the enter key. Now that's 5 inches. So I need to displace it to the top so to cover that white space at the top. So I'm just gonna do the up arrow key, something like that. All right. Remember, for this exercise, 5 inches tall is not absolutely necessary. I'm just showing you how you can change the dimensions of objects, okay, more precisely. So I'm gonna do the green one now. I'm gonna go back to transform up here at the top. If you don't see transform here in the control panel, remember this area here at the top, it's called the control panel. If you don't see the transform option, you go to the window menu up here, and then you look for transform. Remember that all the panels, these are panels, are arranged alphabetically. Okay, so transform. I'm gonna click it, and I have it in the transform here options in the control panel. I have them here in a panel by itself. Okay, so now since I have the green rectangle selected, and it's telling me that right now the height of my rectangle is, whatever it is, 5 and whatever. I want to type a number 5, and then I'm going to press the enter key. Again, remember this exercise doesn't need exact dimensions unless you want to. All right, so now notice how I have white at the bottom. I need to cover that, so I can either make the rectangle a little taller, or I can simply displace it down, pressing or tapping the down arrow key as many times as necessary. I think that's pretty good right there. Now, I am going to work on this objects to prevent accidentally displace them or disturb the position that is sometimes maybe critical, maybe millimetrically precise. You don't want to move them out of their position, and sometimes to prevent accidental deletion of the object, we are going to lock them. Okay. Well, first we need to select them. Press the V key on your keyboard, or click on the arrow, the black arrow here, or the selection tool, and then you click outside of any of the rectangles, top or bottom. See right here, click, hold the mouse, and drag it down. See the black arrow or the pointer going through the sky blue rectangle at the top, and then going through the green rectangle towards the bottom. Okay, you don't have to cover it completely. In other words, you don't have to overpass it like this. As long as the pointer touches the object by a little bit, something like that, you release the mouse, and then all the two objects are selected. All right, so now we are going to lock it. You can either go to the object menu here at the top. Remember, all this area here at the top where all the menus are at is called the menu bar. Right, so we're gonna go to the object menu, and then you go down to I'm sorry, we need to have the object selected. Okay, so you go to the object menu, and then you go down to lock, over to the right, selection. The keyboard command for it is Control 2 right here. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna press Control 2. Control 2. Didn't do it, let me do it again. Control 2. There we go. So right now, these objects, the two objects, are not accessible. You can't do anything to them. right? Unless you unlock them, which, by the way, to unlock locked objects, the keyboard command is Control, Alt, those two keys held down, and then the number 2, the same number 2, right? All right, next step, we're gonna create a rectangle here somewhere in the middle. Again, we're gonna do this more or less. We don't care too much right now for precise centering, precise alignment, right? So we're gonna select in our tools panel, we're gonna select the rectangle tool, right there, okay? We're gonna make a rectangle somewhere right here in the middle. Okay, so we click, we hold the mouse, and we drag it over like so. All right? This is gonna be the wall of a house. So choose a color. You wanna do it maybe from here, and then you wanna refine the color like we did with the sky blue rectangle, right? I'm gonna choose maybe this orange, okay? And then I'm gonna double click over here, the color picker, remember, color picker. And then I'm gonna click over here, maybe the color, okay, right here, okay? Maybe a little lighter, like that. And then I'm gonna click over here. That's the color of my house. Okay. All right. So now I'm gonna draw a door. We can do it in two ways. We can do a rectangle. Again, selecting the rectangle tool, and then going here at the bottom, on the edge right there. When you see the word anchor, or I'm sorry, it says the word path, you click, hold, and drag it up like this, and drag it right to determine the width of the door. Okay, something like this. Right now we're gonna color the door, whatever color you think is the color of a door. I'm gonna select maybe that color. All right, so now, if you think the door is too wide or too narrow, you can widen it by going on this anchor. When you see a horizontal two-headed arrow, you click, you hold, and then you drag it to your right. If you think it's too wide, you do the same thing, only in the opposite direction to make it narrower. All right, I want to think maybe that's good right there. All right, so the distance from the left edge of the door to the left edge of the window, to me, is kind of ideal. If I wanted to make it have more room between the corner and the door, I can just displace it out to my right, pressing the right arrow key. That's pretty good about right there, okay? Now, I'm going to do a window, okay? So I'm going to copy the door or the rectangle, doing Control C and then Control F. Okay. Now I come to this point, make this wider, trying to have the same distance here from the right edge of the window to the corner as of this. Okay. Now I'm gonna click over here and make it narrower. Wanna make it narrower, like about right there. All right, maybe a little more. Right there. Now I want to make it shorter. Coming over here, hold it, click, hold it, and drag it up. Pretty good, right there. Okay, trying to have this distance like I said, pretty much the same as this, same as this. Okay. Now I'm going to color the fill. Remember, fill is the color inside of a shape like that. I'm going to color it with some light gray, trying to emulate the color of glass. Okay. Remember, these two buttons contain the same, exactly the exactly same colors. Okay. Only that this here colors the fill of an object, the inside color of an object. Right. So I'm going to click on this gray. Maybe it's a little too dark. Let me make it a little lighter right there, maybe. That's pretty good. Now, I'm going to work with the frame of the window. First, I need to increase the weight. In Illustrator, terminology means, the terminology for the frame here, it's stroke. Although normally people will call it border or outline or whatever. Here we call it stroke. We need to make this what in common terms would be thicker. Here we call it, we need to make it heavier. Okay, so to do that, we come over here, right here, see what it says, stroke. You click on this arrow, and then you select a number, maybe, I don't know, you think, right there is 9 points. The thickness or the weight of a stroke like this is measured in points. I apply a 9 point stroke. 9 point stroke. Now I want to color it. I want to color it with a slightly darker color than the fill, to emulate aluminum. Okay, remember this button here controls the colors of the stroke. This here applies the color inside of the shape. Right, so I'm gonna click either on this button here or on the arrow next to it. Right, so I'm gonna select maybe this blue. That's thinking that that's aluminum. So that's pretty good right there. Now I wanna add a frame to my door. So I'm gonna click and simply come over here, and right now my shape or my door or my rectangle at this point, whatever you want to call it, is the same. It doesn't have any stroke. See this red slash through it? It says no stroke. As soon as I give it a number, that frame appears with the color. I want to give it a little more. Right now it's 5 points. I want to do maybe 7 points. There we go. Now I want to color the stroke. You come over here, either you click on the button or click on the arrow. Same thing. I want to do a slightly darker brown than the color of the door. Okay, maybe this one, we'll see. I think that is pretty good right there. Okay. I want to darken this color too, the frame of the window. Simply come over here. I'm going to click on the arrow this time, and then I'm going to choose that color. All right, so now I'm going to get rid of the bottom section of the frame. Okay, very careful with this. Okay, it needs observation, is care. Look, make sure that the object is not selected like that. Selected is like that. Okay, see this situation around the frame is called the bounding box. Bounding box. Okay, so that's an indication that the object is selected. We don't need the object to be selected to the next step. So click outside that, and then you select the direct selection tool. This white arrow, people call it sometimes, or you can access the white arrow by pressing the A key on your keyboard, the letter A. All right, so you come over here. See this blue line between the stroke? It's called the spine. You want to click here at the bottom, right there. Then you press the delete key. There we go. Okay, next we're gonna work on the roof. For this, I need to zoom out. It means that I wanna make the project a little far from my vision. For that, I can press the Alt key and then hold it and then click until it's far. All right, so now we're gonna work on the roof, but for this I need to zoom out. Okay, I can either press the Control key and roll the mouse wheel, or press the Control key and press the or tap the minus key, however you want to do it. Okay. All right, I'm gonna zoom in a little more. I zoomed out too much. Okay, about right there. All right, for the roof, we are going to use the polygon tool. Right now, my tools, my shape tools, it's faced with the rectangle tool. I don't need the rectangle anymore. I need the polygon tool, right? Same, if I needed another tool, I need to click and hold this tool, click and hold it, and then come over to the right, and then select polygon tool. Remember, this tool helps you create shapes of many sides. Poly, that's what it means, many sides. Okay, you can make a triangle, you can make a square, you make a pentagon, hexagon, etc. All right, so we need a triangle here. So you click, hold the mouse and drag. Okay, like so. This is a pentagon. We need 3 sides. In other words, we need a triangle. On the fly, meaning without releasing the mouse, we tap the down arrow key. 1, we need to tap it one more time, twice. Okay? That's a triangle. Okay. Now look, the position of the triangle or the angling of the triangle, it's uncertain. We don't know exactly what the heck, right? So when we press the Shift key, the shape aligns or straightens like that. Once it's straightened, you release the mouse and then you release the Shift key. All right, pretty good. Now we're gonna press the V key to select the selection tool, and then we're gonna move this down somewhere around there. We're gonna we need to make sure that these 2 objects are perfectly aligned, meaning that the center of the wall needs to align. This little point right here needs to align with the point here on the triangle. All right, to do that, we click on one of the objects, we press the Shift key and click on the other object. Okay, see how the bounding box, remember we spoke about bounding box, it's hugging the triangle and it's hugging the rectangle. All right, pretty good. Now, at last, I'm gonna click on this object because I don't want this object to move from where it's at. I want the triangle to adjust to the rectangle's position. So I'm gonna click on this last. This is the significance of clicking on it. Okay, click it. Now you can see the rectangle displays this thicker blue outline, meaning that this object is not gonna move from where it's at. The one that is gonna move is the triangle. All right, so now I look for a panel that's called Align. You'll find it here in the window menu. It's called Align. Look, click it, and we have it right here. Okay. Now we click on this button here. Okay, you're gonna notice the triangle move a little to the left. Okay, click it, and that is it. Exactly what we need. All right, so now we click outside of the selection. Remember, the selection now is what the bounding box is holding. Okay, when we click out here, there is no selection at all. All right, so now we need to make this triangle a little wider. So click on it. All right, and we want it to widen to the right as to the left at the same time, or simultaneously if you want. All right, so I bring the mouse over here to either here or here. Okay, when I see a two-headed horizontal arrow, you click, you hold, and then you press the Alt key. The Alt key allows it to grow simultaneously to the left as to the right. Something like this. The height of this roof or shape, you can determine it a little later, right? The width, to me, this is okay right here. I'm gonna make it a little shorter by going here at the top, and then I'm gonna bring it down like about right there. Okay, so now I'm gonna thicken the stroke. See, remember, thickening the stroke is mean changing the weight or changing the point size here. This is 7 right now. I want to make it maybe double of that, around 15, about 14. I think it's up to you. You need to apply your common sense. Maybe let me do a little more, maybe 20. How's that? That's pretty good. All right, so the same thing that we did with the frame here at the bottom, we're gonna do it here. We need to get rid of this here. All right, so we're going to select the direct selection tool. Make sure nothing is selected by clicking outside. Now coming back and clicking on the spine. Remember, we talked about the spine. It's this blue line in the middle of the stroke, right? But remember, this needs to be done without the object selected. And with the direct selection tool, the black arrow, right? So I'll come down here, click on the spine here in the middle, and then we press the delete key. There we go. Okay, so now we're gonna do to start looking at things more cohesive, we're gonna create a sun somewhere here on the sky, right? For that, we need to have the ellipse tool selected, right? So I'm gonna click and hold the shift key, click, hold the mouse and drag it, see? Click, hold and drag. That's a perfect circle. Okay, I'm gonna release the mouse and I have a perfect circle. All right, so now I'm gonna delete the stroke. Coming here on this button, click on the button or click on the arrow, and then click on this slash. Now we're gonna fill the object with yellow right here. Click and then fill the object with yellow. Pretty good. That might be okay, might be a little too big, might be a little too small. I don't know. It's up to you. I'm gonna make it a little smaller. Okay, I need to come with the selection tool, come to any corner or any of these wide anchors like that, and then you press the shift key, hold it, and then drag the mouse inwardly. Okay, right there. Don't release the shift key, otherwise it's gonna go ovalish. We want it to be rounded like that. All right, so now we're going to diffuse the edges. Okay, we're gonna go to the effect menu. We're gonna go down to blur and then over to Gaussian blur. It right there. Right? Make sure that you have the preview button selected, and then you move this circle to the right. The more you drag it to the right, the blurrier that this becomes. Okay? Don't go too much, because if you exceed this number or this value, the blurriness start acting weird. So there's a limit somewhere, right? So when you're done, you say, well, that's okay. You click OK, and there we have it. Right now, we're gonna divide the window into panes. Well, first we can do the knob, the door knob here, by creating a little circle. You can do that on your own, possibly without no instruction. You just need to do a round thing here, like a circle, and make it small enough to put it here. All right, let me do it. See, select the ellipse tool, click and hold, and drag. Maybe that's a little too big, maybe like that is fine. And then you just move it down and put it over here. I don't know, somewhere around there. Then give it a color, whatever color you think is fine. I want to say maybe, I don't know, white. Never seen white knobs. Metal, maybe, like that. It's up to you. Maybe a little darker. All right. So now let's divide the window into 4 panes. All right. For this, we need to select this tool. It's called the line segment tool. Line segment tool. Right, to do this more properly and without too much work, we're going to rely on an action or a feature of Illustrator that is called Smart Guides. Okay, take a look. When I hover the mouse with the line segment tool selected, I'm hovering somewhere around in the middle right here. You're going to see a vertical line coming up like that. It means that right there is the middle from left to right. So I'm going to click, hold the mouse, and drag it down, pressing the Shift key. Hold down the Shift key until I reach the bottom. Okay, right there. I have a perfect line dividing the window. I'm going to release the mouse right there. Although I think it's a little crooked, I'm gonna delete it and I'm gonna do it again. Okay, look, the line segment tool selected. When I hover the mouse over here on this, somewhere around in the middle here, right there, click, hold the mouse, press the Shift key and drag down. Right there. Notice that when you press the Shift key, the line draws perfectly vertical or perfectly horizontal, whichever way you want to do it, right? So now the line is still selected, and I'm going to give it some points here, make it a little thicker or heavier, however you want to call that. All right, the line is brown. I don't want it brown. I want to make it Maybe like that, maybe a little darker. Like that. And maybe just slightly thinner or lighter, however you want to say that. All right, that's 5 points. That's pretty good. All right, now I want to do the other one across. Again, I select the line segment tool, forward the mouse here, somewhere in the middle here, until you see a smart guide. That's what it's called, one that suggests you where you're at. Okay. Right there. You click, press the mouse, hold down the mouse, hold down the shift key and drag it all the way to the right end. And right there. Okay. Release the mouse, click somewhere else, and we have the division. Now, whenever you see or you know that some objects are always going to be together, for example, the frame, the window, and the two divisions are always going to be together no matter what. You don't want a door or a window without one of these divisions, or you don't want anything like this. So you want to do this. Whenever you know that certain objects are always going to be together, so you group them. So I select the horizontal line, I press the shift key, click on the vertical line right there, and then you click on the frame. Okay, let me do it again. My computer is going crazy. All right, press the V key, select one line, hold down the shift key, click on the other line. Now hold down the shift key and click on the frame. Right? Just to corroborate that I have selected exactly what I want, I'm gonna press the delete key. Pretty good. Everything what I wanted deletes. I'm gonna bring them back, pressing Ctrl Z as in zebra. Now I'm gonna group all those objects. Ctrl G. All right, so we're gonna end this demonstration or this video right now. Look for number 2, the part number 2 of this to finish the whole thing, right? See you there.